My name is Angela Andrieux, and I'm a product evangelist for Mylio. And what that means is my job is to help you be successful with the program. And today I'm joined by my colleague, Osiris Indriya. He is our marketing lead and does so much for our company. He's been with the company a very long time and knows this product inside and out. And he is going to walk through today some of the most important things in our community because we have some great resources there. And a few months ago, the platform that we use made some changes. So we want to make sure you guys know where to find things and how to navigate around. So Osiris, thank you so much for joining us and welcome.
Thank you so much, Angela. So glad to see so many folks here, and I see people are still joining, which is great. We're just getting started. So yeah, we're focusing on the community today. Typically, we spend a lot of time in both our getting started webinars and community or our coffee breaks, really focused on specific tasks within Mylio Photos, the software. But today we're going to talk about the community around the Mylio Photos software, which is on one of our websites. So I always like to start off with some goals so we know what we're trying to accomplish here today together. So we're going to just figure out, we're going to define the community. So what is it, who is it for, and why is it important? And maybe you'll get to decide if it's something you want to participate in or how you want to participate in it at the very least. We're going to explore the community so you know where to find things. We're going to show the feed, events, courses, topics and articles, groups, and direct messages. Cool words. They don't mean a heck of a lot yet, but we'll go into it, each one, and actually show you where you can find them and what you can find there. And then we're going to talk about how we work with the community to help us define the future of our product and our community. So we have a special group within our community for subscribers to Mylio Photos specifically, and we regularly ask for input and get fantastic input from the people who use the product every day. So those are our goals, and let's just jump in. So what is this community? It's a social network that's exclusively for Mylio Photos users, for our friends and our families. So you don't have to be a Mylio Photos user to join the community, but likely you know somebody who is at the very least, or maybe you're considering using Mylio Photos and you want to see a little bit about what people are doing with it and what it could do for you before you're ready to commit to even trying the software. So it helps to put on display what Mylio is and does, but also what the community is thinking about it, what questions we have. So it's a little more transparency. And because it's a private social network, I guess private's the wrong word. It's a social network that's just for our community. It's not linked to anything else, so there's no distraction. So if you come to this website, you're going to only find things related to Mylio Photos. We don't put advertisements for other third-party anythings in there. It's just for us to talk about what Mylio Photos does and related technologies and things our users care about. So it's the only place right now where you can find information about events other than when we might email you a reminder here and there. So if you want to know anything about scheduled events that are upcoming, the community is the best place for that. We publish a lot of news and learning articles. We publish video courses, including coffee breaks like this. Afterwards, we edit the video and we publish them. So you can actually go back and look at all the previous coffee breaks. You can look at the most current Getting Started webinar, any other classes that have been shared or events that are relevant will be posted there for viewing and even conversation, because you can comment on any posts that you're viewing in the community. We have groups, which again, I'm going to show you more in a little bit. So groups are essentially topic-related groups. So if you have an interest in something and the group exists, you join it, and then you can talk with other people about that topic. If you're not interested in those things, you don't join the group. It's pretty simple. And then posts work the same as most any other social media. It's just where you post will determine who gets to see it. So if you post in a group, that means that group will see it. If you post elsewhere, then that's where they'll see it. So paying attention to where you are in the community, and it's just changed, as Angela said. So we're going to help you learn how to navigate that and know where you're at. So then you can make sure as you're interacting with folks that you're getting messages where you intend them to be. And then the last main feature is direct messages, which allows you to communicate with one or more other members of the community directly. It's private. No one at Mylio can see what you're talking about unless you communicated directly with them. So it's just a way for the community to have conversations and get to know each other, ask about things that you might not want publicly available for everyone to see. You're welcome to do it there. And we'll definitely be spending more time actually looking at it in a moment. Who's it for? So who is it for is anyone who uses Mylio Photos and who is interested in related topics like photography, file organization, family history, genealogy, traveling, cutting edge technology. If you like bird photos, we got a great set of bird photos. Let me tell you, if you haven't already seen it, I'll make sure to show. But we have lots of other great things in there too. So anything that could be related to what Mylio Photos is and does is definitely welcome. So we have a lot of photographers who have joined the community because we were primarily targeting and working with and supporting photographers for the last couple of years. That includes professional, semi-pro, and hobbyists, any level of photographers, typically people who have a lot of pictures. I would say that's more the qualifier. It doesn't mean you're great at taking them, but you have a lot of them, and Mylio is a great tool for managing them. I would put myself in the having a lot of pictures, but maybe not as great, definitely than compared to Angela, who's a fantastic photographer. Family historians. So that would be parents with kids, right? You take a lot of pictures and you want to be able to organize and share them. Grandparents, or people with aging family members where you might have received large amounts of photos, whether digital or printed, that need scanning. If you, again, have a large number of photos, family historians can really do a lot with us. Travelers who love to travel and take amazing scenic photography, but also need to travel light and do like what we were just discussing, where you might have a computer at home that you're trying to send all the pictures to while you're out and about. So you don't have to worry about backup or protection of the photos you're taking on the go. You can just have a phone or an iPad or a light laptop with you, knowing that everything's getting archived back at home on your Vault hard drive. And then asset managers, which would include business owners or creative teams, content creators, Etsy sellers, eBay sellers, anyone who has a lot of pictures of unique things that they're trying to manage. Because what Mylio does best is help manage a lot of photos. If you have a very small number of photos, you probably don't need Mylio. I could be wrong. Is there anyone that I'm missing here? Did I not include anyone in this coffee break? What you got, Larry Fisher?
Well, there's all the Mylio people. They can be very helpful.
Oh, our team. You're 100% right. So team members are definitely here. And thank you. I agree. They've been very helpful to me too. Good point. Anyone else I missed?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, great. And we are planning to do a lot more to expand on this in the future, but this is, as Angela said, Mylio has technically been around for a long time. It's been in development for a long time, but really we officially launched the product for real last June. So we're coming up on our first real year of truly being out there for people. Typically when you make it toward PSVI, I make it in like. Thanks, Angela. So we're doing our best to reach all of these audiences and more as we continue to add new great features that more people can make use of. So why is it important? Well, it's important, number one, because it's a great source for learning. As we grow, it's really hard for the actual people on the team at Mylio to work with.
So by definition, it is size.
There we go.
Thank
Just a
you.
reminder, everyone, if you could keep your microphones on mute unless you have a question, that'd be great.
Thank you. Yeah, so it's hard for our team to interact with every individual question one by one. So far, we've been able to do it because we're still growing, but it's definitely getting harder and harder. We've definitely made a lot of new connections with a lot of new customers this year. So we've tried to move more and more of the general learning information and things that are commonly asked about into the community as articles or videos. When a question comes up and we find out it's really common, Angela or Lori on our team will put a video together and make sure that it gets out there. So we're constantly doing our best to try to get that learning information into the community. It also allows you to respond to what we put out and say, hey, I have this additional question, or can you tell me a little more about blank based on what you saw, and it'll help us do a better job of covering all the topics that you would like covered. It's also important for community sharing and connection. Because photos are very important. The stories and memories are built around these photos, and being able to share them even with strangers is really important part of enjoying photography. It's not just here for us to have this amazing organized photo library that only we get to enjoy by ourselves. It's very normal to want to share that with others, and also share things like strategies or workflows or different ways that we use and work with Mylio so other people can benefit. And then the last major thing is we really rely on the community for feedback on how we're doing as a company, how the product is working for you, and also about features that we're planning. So we actually ask community members for input on things we're thinking about or we've started working on, but we want to make sure what we put out there, that the ways that we evolve the software are things that you really need and are going to serve the purposes that you have. So that's why it's important. All right. I think we're tired of talking and we're going to start looking here. So let's explore the community. So one of the things we care a lot about at Mylio is your privacy. So one of the things that I'm going to be focusing on here is if you publish things in certain places in Mylio's community, who can see it? I think that's important to know. So here we have the feed is where most people start. It's got an algorithm that curates the most active or the most important content, or you can even influence what's in the feed by using these little filters here. And I will show you. So here is what it looks like to come to the community not having joined. And so if you have not created an account in the community, you can still view and make use of it. So there's a lot of benefit that can come from just browsing the community, which would be this explore button here. And if you join the community, I know we've gotten many requests to make the same login that you use for Mylio Photos work for the community. And we can't do that because we use a service for this social network that we don't want to give your Mylio credentials to. That's for your protection and privacy. We're not a social media company, so we don't build social software. We pay another company to provide this space for us. So we want to make sure that those logins are separate, so we're not giving that company access to your personal memories. So if you do want to join, you'll have to create a new login. You could use the same email if you want. It's up to you how you want to do it, but it is a separate login. But we can just explore. So again, you arrive at the feed. Actually, this one knows me. I've already logged in.
Looks like you're logged in as maybe the brand account.
No, this is my secondary. That's okay.
Ah.
But let me see if I have one that isn't logged in. Oh, let's just log out then. There we go. Oh, I'm not logged in. So you can see it still says sign in. So I haven't signed in yet now. And we have the feed right away. And the feed is that curated list of recent and active posts. So here is our data engineer, Aaron, who is really good at sharing wonderful photos on pretty much every day. I don't know if there's a day he's missed in over a year, but this is a wonderful, cute picture here. And you can interact. So I'm trying to cheer up. It won't let me do that until I join, which is fine, but I can do all the browsing I want. So if you want to start interacting and become a part of the community, you need to have an account. Otherwise, you can definitely still browse. So here, Lori on our product evangelist team has shared an article in the video. So there's lots of cool information here. This is our head of product, and he is asking what we want to learn about related to Mylio photos or photography. This is definitely our most popular post with 572 responses. You may have responded to this. It is one of the first things most people see because it's the most active. So that's part of that curation. But if you want to view other things, you can actually use this little guy up here to filter what you see, which is nice. And if you want to know what we care about in the Mylio team, that's what this area is, which is the featured list. So these are the things we think are important and valuable to you. But the social network here does a good job of curating a feed based on your interactions, especially as you're logged in. All right, that's the feed. So next is events. So we have a lot of events, primarily events we produce, but sometimes things that we see in other related communities, or someone from our team might be visiting an event somewhere and we'll post things like that. So that is not here. Oh, there it is. Here we go. So this is what's happening right now. It's live. You're here. You're part of an event. And maybe you told us you were coming, because you can do that right here. And then you can see a list of all the other upcoming events. You can browse by the calendar. If what you really want is getting started webinars, which I highly recommend if you haven't taken one before, even if you're a longtime Mylio Photos user, because things change and we always do a good job of keeping them up to date. You can find those here. We have a special topic, which we'll go more into in a moment, called Getting Started Webinars. And this filters those down. So you're just looking at the Getting Started webinars because they're that important. But here is the collection of all events. Courses. So we actually have 2 courses now, and I'm not positive if everyone noticed when we released the second one, but the first one is the Mylio Photos Fundamentals course, which is free for everyone. So you can find that in the courses section. So that's here. So I still haven't even signed in yet, and it's giving me quite a bit of access here. So this is a very involved course that each of these topics is a separate video explaining a separate topic related to Mylio Photos. And we know that Mylio Photos does a lot of things. And we produced this about a year ago for the first time. If anyone's been a Mylio Photos user for longer than a year, you probably remember when we had no manual, when we had no video courses, we had no getting started webinars, or at least they were few and far between. Our team has grown and we've gotten a lot better at our documentation, led by Angela, who's here on the call today. This was done by a partnership between our Angela and our head of product and our head of our customer service teams, working together to produce this awesome course. So this is free, and it actually keeps track of what you've done, and gives you sort of a progress meter if you're going through this. So you can just kind of a la carte pick the things you're interested in, or you can go start to finish and keep track of where you're at and come back to it later. And what's really cool about this community is there's a chat for the course. And you can see Angela spends a lot of time in this. Again, she may have interacted with you here. So if you're in the course and you have a question, she's keeping an eye on it and making sure to help folks out as they're going through the course. That's a really fun part. So you can just find that here in the chat portion. So as you can see, I'm not logged in. So all of these posts are essentially public and available to the world. What we have done is we've made it so posting to the feed is not something you can do unless you're running, you're a moderator or a host for the whole community. So you'll see the main feed is full of stuff from us mostly because it comes from this home area. This is where we're posting. These are the Mylio announcements, Mylio content. But if you have joined one of our groups, which you can't see here, they're hidden. If you're not logged in, if you have not joined, you can't see them. But if you do sign in and you'd start joining groups, you can start adding those things to your feed. So we have a second course, scanning and organizing your photos. This was just released a few weeks ago. So it's listed here, $49.99. So we have been doing a bundle with Mylio Photos subscriptions where we're giving this away. If you've recently purchased a subscription to Mylio Photos and you have not received or you haven't noticed that we sent you an email, there is an email that comes to you. It's about an hour after you subscribe. That sends you a link where you can access this at no additional cost. It's part of purchasing a subscription to Mylio Photos right now, and it has been for several weeks. So you don't necessarily need to pay. If you're a subscriber, you have additional access to this through that special link in your email. But if you have no interest in using Mylio Photos, there's a lot of great content in this course that you can use just to learn how to scan photos. It tells you how to find the right scanner and a lot of other valuable tricks and techniques for digitizing printed media so you can organize it and make use of it. And we do expect to be adding more courses in the future. As you can see, when there's like 40 videos in a course, it takes a long time to get those produced and ready for you guys, but we're continuously working on that. Topics. So I showed you that before. So you can see they're all here. If you don't see them, it might be collapsed. So you got to make sure that this little arrow points down so you can see all of the topics. So this is just a handy way of organizing like content. So all the quick start videos are grouped together. We have the getting started webinar topic, so you can find anything related to just getting started webinars. We have some tutorials. This is super handy. There's a lot of good stuff here. Quick tip videos. I can't say enough good stuff about this. If you just have if you want to learn one thing pretty quickly, that's what all these videos are for. We have coffee breaks, which is what's happening right now. You know all about that. Webinar replays. So this is anything that's not a coffee break or getting started webinar that we've done. And then we have FAQs here. Lots of good information here. So this all handles that, that learning focus that we really wanted to make sure that this community helped everyone with. And you can use search in each of these topics. So if I search from the home or from the feed, it's going to search everything that's available to me. But you can see here that when I'm in a topic, the search actually limits my search to that topic. So if there's something I want to know, but I want it to be in this format, that's what you would want to try, is using just the search bar up here. But of course, you have to sign in for that. Alrighty. Now we have groups. So I'm just going to sign in here real quick. Oh, this one's already signed in. I don't know if it's going to stay signed in though. 1 second. I just don't want to show you my login information. That's private to me.
We've had some great questions in the chat. Keep those coming. If you have any other questions, feel free to go ahead and pop those in there. We'll have some open Q&A where you can unmute and ask questions at the end as well. One question that I did want to bring up and see Osiris's answer is Gary would like to know why the name Mylio.
Oh, it means my life is organized.
Awesome.
That's where it comes from. Because the vision of Mylio has always been, and Mylio, the company, Mylio Photos, the product, has been to help people organize a lifetime of memories, or more than a lifetime. It could be your legacy, going back, but it's all about life. It's a big scope product. It's made to handle lots of different things in one system, as opposed to one project or one photo album of one family. It might be an extended collection of many different sources altogether. That's definitely what Mylio is best at. So it's organizing your life in photos and videos.
Awesome.
So I'm logged in now. You can see I got some notifications. I got someone trying to talk to me here on my direct messages. But now if I come down here, there are some groups. So we have quick questions. This is one I'm going to talk about in a little bit. This is our super special secret group. But quick questions is a great place to actually get your questions answered, just like it says. So this is a good way to interact with our team. So this was just 26 minutes ago. Our team member, Lori, was responding. So if you don't know where else to ask a question and you're okay getting an answer from the community or a Mylio team member, this is a great place for that. And you can also see that the community is suggesting some things for me to do, because this is a new account that I just created. So there's some things I haven't looked at yet. So this is also a great place to check. But if we go, so now that I'm actually in quick questions, I need to go back up essentially to get back out to the groups here. So there's quick questions, then there's a ton of photography groups. So if you're into astrophotography, bird photography, you can see these are all groups that are joinable. Black and white photos. This one's all about family history and scan photos. I have a bunch of stuff I've shared in here. My grandfather was in Germany right after World War II as part of the army as an administrator. And he was there during the Berlin airlift and took a bunch of color Kodachrome slide photos that have been handed down to me that I got scanned, and I've shared some of my favorites in there. Landscape, macro, nature, pet, portrait, travel, there's a bunch. And we could have more. We do take suggestions and recommendations. So if there's a type of group that you don't see here, because it is very photography focused right now, there are plenty of other related topics that would be relevant to our community. We're definitely open to having more, but we don't want to just create a group to have it sit empty. We want to make sure that there's some other people who want to join you on that topic. So please let us know. You can send a direct message up here to Angela or me if you want to suggest a group. You could even post something in the chat if you have some ideas now. But that's something we expect to continue to evolve while our community evolves. And of course, direct messages, like I was just saying. So I can start one here. Let's say I want to send a message to Angela and I wasn't sure exactly how to spell her name. I know it starts with that. So then I can start a chat. And it allows you to add GIFs. Let's see. Good morning. Have a great day. I like that. So now I just sent a cool message to Angela. So, and this is private just between me and her. So no one else can see this. No one else was added to this. This isn't accessible from any web search or anything. That's a nice feature. And then the secret group, influencing the future. We have a private group within the Mylio Photos community specifically for subscribing members. And the purpose of that is to get a direct feedback from people who are paying for our product, to make sure that as we're evolving the product, it's doing what you guys need it to do. You got a couple of examples of types of posts here. Sometimes we post polls. Sometimes we post updates. We always post update information in the insiders group in advance as opposed to later. So that's the first group to find out about what's coming or what we're planning, and even be able to give input into that process. It all happens in the insiders group, which if you're in it is here. Now, if you are a Mylio Photos subscriber and you do not have access to this group, you can send me or Angela a DM. And what we need is the email address you use to log into your account. And if you use a single sign-on option like Apple or something, you can let us know that too. We can confirm that you are a subscriber, and then we'll make sure you get added to the Mylio Photos Insiders. It's really important. But what happens is when you subscribe, we do send you an email within about a day that gives you a link to join this group. Again, you might miss that email. So if you have missed that email and you feel like you should be here and you're not seeing it when you log in, please let us know, because we want you here. We want your input. But you can see here was a recent update, the most recent update, 22.1. We've talked about deduplication before we released the feature. That was all happening here. We even give sneak peeks about what's happening in the future. Right now, you may or may not have seen that there actually is a sneak peek of our next release in the community right here. And this is directly from our head of product, taking screenshots of what the future of Mylio Photos is going to look like. Hey, that looks like a folder tree. Oh my goodness. How handy would that be? Be able to just drag something into a folder. That sounds pretty good, right? Well, this is coming right around the corner. So you can find great information like this on the community. And this is what I have prepared to share with you guys today. I think we still have a little bit of time for questions. I think you said there were some more in the chat, Angela.
I've been answering them as I go, but we did have one from John that just came in asking, can we discuss the support forum and which one, the support or the community, which one to use and when?
That's a fantastic question.
Yes.
It's really kind of your preference. The forum is a bit of an old school style forum. If those of you who have used traditional forums before, but what tends to happen is the group of users who are here tend to be a lot more technical. So they ask questions about and how the software is engineered, or how do advanced search queries work, and things like that. That seems to be the dominant kind of community that's built up around the forum. So if you are a more technical user and you want to engage with our engineers, because our software engineers, including our lead architect, spend a lot of time on this forum directly interacting with users, and they need it because they're getting important information from generally relatively technical users about the directions things should move. So this is definitely another opportunity to influence the product and the community, but it is quite a bit more technical. So things often start as like just a basic question, and it turns into something technical pretty fast here. Whereas in the community, things do not tend to be that technical. It's more user-friendly, more quick answers. What's the easiest way to do something? So if you care more about getting the best value out of the product, the community is better. If you want to get down and dirty in the details, that's what the forum is good for. But really, it's your preference.
So one thing I do want to point out here for the forum is we do have there towards the bottom on the left-hand side is feature requests. If you want to make a feature request, this is where you'll want to go. And you can take a look and see if that request has already been made. If it has, you can vote for it. You can make a comment, some additional information on why that would be useful. It's watched very closely by our product team. If the thing that you want to see is not listed here, you can create a new request. And if you do put a feature request into the community, we'll often send you over here just to make sure everything gets documented and put in one place. Awesome. Well, if there are no other questions, you guys know how to reach us now from the community. So you can always ask us those other questions, whether it's in the Mylio Photos Quick Questions group, or if you prefer to ask it privately, you can send me a DM. You can send Osiris a DM. We're always happy to help, and we want to make sure you guys are successful. So with that, I want to thank Osiris for joining us today and giving us a great explanation and tour of the community. And thank you guys all for attending. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you next week.
Thank
Bye,
you, Angela.
everyone.
Bye.